Hey guys, Legend of the Remnant here. Holy shit. I just saw the latest episode, RWBY Volume 7, Episode 5, and I'm not gonna lie, this episode turned around the entire volume for me. So far up to this point, I always thought this volume was kind of just, meh. It was just, it's not as exciting as Volume 6. It's meh. The only standout to me was the briefing episode where Ironwood explained his plan to reanimate Amity Coliseum and to just tell the world about Salem. The thing about that, it's I kind of thought this volume was just meh up to this point. But this episode somehow turned it all around for me. I don't know, it wasn't action-packed or intense or anything, but it provided a lot of stuff in it. Does that make sense? It's this is my new favorite episode out of the entire season so far. I don't know what it is, but, okay. So, for starters, the montage. The montage was great. It was just the main characters finally being huntsmen. Also, the scene with the thirsty moms, that's probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire new volume, or just RWBY in general, because we all want thirsty moms at some point. But holy shit, that was amazing. That was a funny scene. I like that. Rooster Teeth, Miles, Carrie, you guys are always good with your humor. That is awesome. And at some point, I plan on maybe making, a whole review about this volume, and I'll be sure to include the importance of this episode, because there is a lot of importance. Because, the politics of Mantle, they're handling it pretty well, actually, for a fictional universe. But that's not here nor there. Back to the montage. So, again, the music they use, Casey Lee Williams, amazing. Amazing score. Just amazing. And just the things and the happenings that go on in this, I have to watch it again just to make sure I, know what's going on. Not know what's going on, but, because it was so much fun the first time. I wanted to watch it again, for sure. And then, then we... Again, the particular standouts in that montage were, the characters training really hard, beating up Grimm, and all that, but, obviously the Thirsty Moms bit, but the thing that stuck out to me in that was, they introduced new Grimm, only for them to be, hacked to death, like that. You know what I mean? It's, only for them to be hacked to death like that. So it's okay, introduce new Grimm, and they just get killed. That killed it. Jeez. But, it's they just hack them to death, and then they do something new out of it. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just really hyped, because I just finished watching it. Again, I apologize for making it so late. I was working and all that, but that doesn't matter. I'm here now, and holy crap, this is my favorite episode of the volume so far. But that's not why, okay? That's not why, and I'll get to that in a bit. I really like the scene where Penny and RWBY were talking about relationships. I had a friend of mine, she said, oh, this volume's gonna end with them being in a relationship so hard. I'm like, I don't really see it. I kind of just saw it them as just talking about relationships and all that, but again, I'm excited to see where it goes. It's really sweet. And I also love the scene where, they're talking, just so much good in this volume, guys. This episode. I don't know what it is. I think that once they got all the formalities done at the beginning of this volume, once they got the formalities done, then they got the really intense stuff, Now they're getting into the meat of it. So, again, we meet Robin, the allegory to Robin Hood. We see her and her men, or women. I like their weapon designs. It's really cool, very articulate. But, I really like, again, that scene was okay, I thought it was okay, it's it wasn't super good, but it's yeah, it's I really like the standoff, the tension between, I should definitely make a more scripted, well-thought-out review, but these are more off-the-cuff videos while I make my more articulate videos, more scripted ones. But, how I view it, it's this volume achieved this episode achieved one thing for me, and that's Winter and Weiss's moment together. I really like that, but I'll get to that in a second. But I just want to get the Robin Hood and the rest of her merry band out of the way. She does not know what she's getting into, why they want to bring back Amity Coliseum, and I really like Ruby's reaction to hearing that they're diverting all the important resources to things like perimeter defense walls and stuff like that. Like, you know, they're making Mantle suffer more than, like, you know, than they should, and that gets to RWBY. I really like that. And to put it bluntly, it's basically it. I think there's something else that happened in this volume, but for me, the most important particular standout was Weiss and Winter discussing the Winter Maiden. I mean, we all knew Winter was going to be the Winter Maiden. We know that. But how they went about it in this episode, in this volume, it's like, I really like that. I really like how they did about it. Like, we all knew Winter was going to be the Winter Maiden. It was obvious. But the way they went about it, it's like, oh god, they added a new spin to it. And I really like that. Maybe I should make a separate video about that. But, nah, all these what-if scenarios about videos that I want to make, it's like, it's crazy. But, okay, so let's get started. Okay, so it begins with, like, you know, Weiss and Winter training, using their different summons to beat each other. And I really like the conversation they have about each other when it comes to secrets and all that, and about trust, because Weiss knows that her team is keeping a very vital, important part of information about Salem, keeping it from Ironwood, but it's to protect him. For the same reasons why Ozpin was keeping secrets from, for the very same reason why Ozpin was keeping secrets from the group, because he wanted to protect them for something like this. And also because he was afraid of betrayal, but to me, I firmly believe it's because he wanted to make sure, you know, Ozpin's not heartless, guys. So, as we start from there, we move on from that, and here we are. What I love about this scene particularly is, like, you know, just the long walk they go into the hospital wing of Atlas Academy. I really like how there's, like, a lot of heavy security around the area. I really like that, especially with Atlesian Knights. Those things I love those things, I don't know why. And when we finally get down to it, like, you know, for one thing, it's just a great scene where Winter and Weiss bond with each other, and that's something we all absolutely love about RWBY in general. It's just the character of Winter and Weiss, the dichotomy between the two. How much they distance themselves from their father, and how, you know, Weiss's worldview has changed, because, you know, even though Winter, like, you know, her view of the world has changed since she left the Schnee family, Weiss still garnered the same... Even though Weiss hated her father in Volume 1, she absolutely still, you know... She still held some of the beliefs against Faunus that her father had, and I'm glad she no longer feels those things. So, now with that out of the way, now that they've come to an understanding, like, you know, Winter shows, you know, the Winter Maiden to Weiss. The behind the glass scene where you can barely hear what the two characters are saying, the Winter Maiden and Winter, I really like that because, like, you know, it's up to interpretation about what they were saying. And as it turns out, like, you know, just the idea that Ironwood and Ozpin, they were, like, you know, they were choosing Winter's destiny for her. And in a lot of ways, for Weiss, her shtick is that, you know, she's tired of people choosing her destiny for her. Her father, Ozpin, all these people in her life that, you know, force everything upon her instead of making it her choice. Basically, in a sense, they make it an obstacle in her path. In this case, for Winter, when she, like, you know, when she realized this, for a while it did bother her that she was basically raised to be, like, you know, a soldier. You know, she had no free will of her own. The thing is, to her, she took the obstacle in front of the path and she made it become the path. Meaning, she took something that was holding her back, and then she decided to make something great out of it. She decided, you know what, no, this is what I want, this is what I need to do. Like, she basically, she doesn't do it to spite them, but she does it for her own reasons. And that, like, you know, affects Weiss powerfully, because we know how much, you know, free will and choice means to her when she grew up her entire life, you know, being forced to do things she didn't particularly like. And, sorry, that was my phone. But I really love that. It was really great. It was really powerful. If there was a novelization for each RWBY volume, I would really love to hear, like, you know, how the novelization would expand upon this. Because really, novelizations really do the trick about that. This, to me, was the most powerful moment in the volume, I think. The Winter and Weiss moment. I have to make a video about that. I think I'll try and make it this afternoon there, but this was such a good volume. Like, holy crap. Like, I mean, obviously, it's, for me, I always thought it started off slow, and I still have some issues with it. But for the most part, this episode, it sticks out to me. I really like this. It was very well done and all that. And that's all I have to say, really. I really love this volume in particular. Oh, but I can see what they're doing now. Jacques and, Watts and all that. They're planning, they're planning to turn politics against them. God damn it, phone. Hang on. I really love this volume so far, when it comes to, the political side of things. Because that's something we never really truly saw in previous volumes, I think. The political aspect of things. And that's really something I always hope for. I actually mentioned it a lot in my, RWBY Volume 7 predictions videos. I really like how they're handling the politics so far. It may not be 100% accurate to real life, but I can forgive it. It's a fantasy genre sort of thing. And to put it bluntly, that's what this whole episode is. I really like it. And, Jacques playing on, unsettling everyone around, around Mantle. Not only will it bring Grimm, but it'll also bring, God, it's just amazing. Team RWBY, you did an excellent job with this episode. I'm gonna see to it that you guys get an Oscar award, and I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta write the script for the next video. This is Legend of Remnant, signing off.